Hey folks, welcome to Casting with Kirk. I'm Kirk, so glad you could join me today. Today we're actually out here on the water. It's early spring and we're throwing crankbaits today. Now, if you're out throwing crankbaits, there's one very important thing you need to do, and that's have them tuned. You hear a lot of companies talk about right out of the package, their crankbaits are tuned, they'll run nice and straight. That's not always the case. A lot of times you're going to throw your crankbait out and you're wondering why it's running off in the crazy different directions. That's because it's not tuned. It's a very important piece of running crankbaits correctly, is having them tuned. So today I'm going to be out here throwing, in the early springtime, some squarebill crankbaits. These are going to run about 6 feet deep. So one thing I need to make sure I'm doing when I'm fine tuning these crankbaits is I need to be deeper than that crankbait's going to run, and I need to know that there is no structure like weeds, rocks, wood, any of that stuff that's going to get caught up on, because I want it to run and I want to know what it's doing unobstructed. So I'm currently sitting in about 7 feet of water. Now what I want to do, I don't need to make a long cast, but I want to make a decent cast. I'm going to cast it out and I'm going to point my rod tip at the crankbait and just do a nice steady retrieve. What I want to watch for is I want to see if that crankbait's going left, I want to see if it's going right, or if it's coming right down the middle. Now mind you, when it's even coming down the middle, it's going to have its action. It's going to be doing what it's supposed to do, but you'll know it if you're pointing straight at it and that crankbait is starting to take off in an odd direction. You know it's not tuned. Like I can tell with 2 casts, this one looks like it is running a little bit to the right. I need to look at the crankbait from the front point of view. If it's running right, I want to tweak it just a little bit left. If it's running left, I want to tweak it just a little bit right. Since it's running right, I'm going to take my pliers, I'm going to grab that little eye, I'm just going to turn it a little bit to the left. Not a whole bunch, because that'll affect it more than you realize. Now what we want to do, is we want to throw it back out. Again, I'm just going to nice steady retrieve, point my rod tip towards it, and now I can see it's actually coming straight towards me like it's supposed to. And you want it to do that all the way through the retrieve. So again, I'm going to cast it out. I'm in 7 feet of water, so I know I'm not going to hit the bottom. Just going to just a steady retrieve. And I can see now when I'm pointing at it that crankbait is coming directly at me, and now it's running true, and that's what you need to do with all your crankbaits. You can do it on the shallow divers and on your deep divers. Alright, you want it to look natural. Well, thank you folks for joining me today. If you like these tips and tricks, go ahead, hit that like up, subscribe button. It's a little cold out, but you know what? The bass are starting to bite. Get out there and do some fishing, and I thank you for joining me today. Have a great one.